The National Institutes of Health Research, NIHR, have made a major difference to supporting research in palliative and end-of-life care. This affects us all. It affects caregivers, it affects people who have symptoms, people in treatment, patients and families receiving different services. In all settings, the Cicely Saunders Institute, we try to improve the care for patients and families towards the end of life through research, through education, through clinical care and support and information. And the really exciting thing is that we've been able to bring everybody together into one building so that research and clinical practice influence each other. And we've been working with patients and families directly to influence our research programme. The other really exciting thing is that there's a breadth of investment across different clinical specialties. So for example, there's investment in a clinical nurse post, there's investment in developing people from a physiotherapy background. It's not just about doctors, although doctors are also supported.
My research focus is the development and testing of practical exercise therapies for people with advanced disease who have difficulty accessing traditional rehabilitation programs. The purpose of my work is to keep people as active and independent as possible for as long as possible, so they can continue to enjoy the activities they value the most.
My research is developing and evaluating a new short-term palliative care service for older people. The purpose of the work is to tell us how best to provide end-of-life care to people living with advancing frailty. The work is shaping services to enable older people to live well at the end of life and to die in a place that is familiar with loved ones nearby.
My research concentrates on improving care for those with advanced disease other than cancer, especially people with advanced kidney disease. We have developed a brief questionnaire to identify symptoms and have introduced this across 2 kidney units. Already, this is making a difference for those with advanced kidney disease and their families.
The focus of my research is measuring the impact of rehabilitation therapies from the perspectives of patients, families and carers. The purpose of my work is to identify which combinations of intervention provide the best outcomes for patients and their families following acquired brain injury.
My academic interest is place of death for the increasing number of people who die with dementia in England. The purpose of my research is to understand where people with dementia die and what might influence this. We hope that ultimately this information will help to guide service provision, commissioning and end-of-life policy to improve care for these patients.
My research aims to better understand what life is like for people who have severe liver disease and for their families. This insight will help to improve the services that offer treatment and support to patients living with this life-threatening disease.
The 𝐃𝐘 project is centered around the place of death. We want to understand why and how place of death in England has changed over the past 30 years. How and why place of death are so different depending on where people live.
The purpose of our research is to inform national end-of-life care policy and resource planning, to help our healthcare system to better serve people's needs at the end of life.
And together, we are more than the sum of our parts.